This episode requires a deeper step into theology and scripture. Not for comfort, but for clarity. And before we talk about consequence, we need to talk about the sword. Not as violence, not as rage, but as authority. Let the one who has no sword sell his cloak and buy one. That comes from Luke 22:36. Now, this wasn't a call to chaos. It was a declaration that the season had changed. Mercy had spoken. Warnings had been given. Now boundaries would be enforced. Because protection requires readiness. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against rulers, against authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against spiritual forces of evil. That's from Ephesians 6:12. Now, this isn't personal. It never is. It's about patterns, about predation, about power misused against those who cannot defend themselves. The sword exists not to conquer the innocent, but to restrain the violent, to defend the vulnerable, and to end what refuses correction. This episode isn't for everyone. This episode is for you. Not because you're important, but because you mistook silence for permission and restraint for weakness. This was never about one mistake. It's about what you did after you were corrected. If you do wrong, be afraid, for authorities do not bear the sword in vain. That's from Romans 13:4. You were warned, then corrected, then restricted, and instead of stopping, you escalated. You told yourself a story that you were misunderstood, targeted, unfairly treated. But consequence doesn't listen to stories. It reads records, patterns, dates, orders, violations. Because the sentence against an evil deed is not executed speedily. The heart of man is fully set to do evil. It's in the book of Ecclesiastes 8:11. But consequence doesn't rush. It waits until the pattern is complete. Every system does this. Legal, social, physical. They allow room. They issue warnings. They offer correction. Not because you deserve it, but because correction is preferable to collapse. The Lord is slow to anger and great in power, but he will by no means clear the innocent. From Nahum 1:3. Now here's a line you crossed without realizing it. Escalation is a choice. After the first correction, everything that follows is voluntary. Each step forward isn't momentum, it's defiance. Each violation isn't confusion, it's intent. And intent has weight. You thought you were free because you could still move, still speak, still maneuver. But movement isn't freedom. It's just motion. Until resistance appears. And when it does, it's quiet. No drama, no shouting, no explanations you haven't already heard. Just enforcement. Rescue the weak and the needy. Deliver them from the hand of the wicked. From Psalms 82:4. That's the moment reality stops asking and starts concluding. not out of anger, not out of spite, but because the pattern is finished. Whoever causes one of these little ones to stumble, it would be better for him that he has a millstone tied around his neck and cast into the sea. Matthew 18:6. Consequence doesn't hate you. It doesn't need to. It only does one thing. It ends what refused to correct itself. Now that isn't revenge. That's protection. That's justice. That's order. Now if you like this channel, hit that subscribe button, like, leave a comment, and I'll be sure to get back to you. Peace.